What's up, Ocean? You got Matt here, coach of your Montreal Milotic, bringing you our draft analysis for the APA Academy Season 2. Today, I'm just going to go over the team that we're going to be using this season. It's actually not a team that I drafted. This team was drafted by Panther, the commissioner of the APA, one of the commissioners, rather, and we took over for it before the draft, well, right after the draft ended, basically, because Panther needed to step down. He also asked Aaron to ask me if I could participate, and seeing as ICBA is over now, and the APA league, the APA Wi-Fi league, the APA Little Cup leagues are winding down. I thought it might be a good time to pick up another league before Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is no longer around, and we're going to be moving on to Sword and Shield. But anyways, this league is an Uber's league. It's got a bunch of crazy busted mons, and a lot of mons that we haven't used before. This team is basically filled up of mons that I have either loved or never used before. So I'm excited for it. It's going to be very fun to give it a shot. Now my throat is kind of dying here, so you're going to have to bear with me. I'm hoping I can get this done pretty quickly. I don't want it to last 20 minutes. If it does, well, shit. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. Now this is a points league, and based on the team that Panther drafted, it's a very, very good team. I think people were saying it's one of the best teams, if not the best team in the entire league. And the way it works is it's kind of like a team format. So there's, I think it's 3 teams of 8 coaches, or 3 teams of 6 coaches. I think 3 teams of 8. Anyways, and your team's overall record is taken into account. Now, the way you make playoffs is dependent on how your team does. The team with the best record will have the most playoff spots available to them. The team with the worst record will, I think, only have 1 or 2 spots available to them. So it becomes a little bit of a team game. At the same time, you want to do well yourself. You want to do well yourself first, and then have your team do well second. That's what you want. Anyways, this is going to be a very interesting draft that we have. Again, like I said, I did not build it, I did not draft it, but it's an amazing team, and we'll go ahead and get right into it. So, to start off with the first pick that we have, I don't know when it was drafted, which pick it was, but I do know it is a scary mon, and that is going to be Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh gets a Regenerator, which is probably the reason why it's so good compared to Pressure Ho-Oh. Honestly, because Pressure is kind of a useless ability in most situations, and Regenerator is just an amazing ability. Having the ability to switch in on rocks, then switch out and still be able to take a second hit is going to be incredible. It gets Recovery and Roost. It is super good offensively with stab moves like Raybird and Sacred Fire. You get access to really good coverage options as well on both physical and special side, and your special defense is just monstrous. I believe it's base 154, which is insane. It's ridiculous. Its defense is only base 90, I think, but it's not awful. With its HP stat and all of its bulk and its typing, you can take really a lot of physical hits. It obviously resists the fighting type, which is a really strong type in the format, and there's a lot of really good fighting types in the Uber's tier, Marshadow, Mega Mewtwo X. So there's a lot of really strong mons that we want to keep an eye out for that carry the fighting type. Obviously, it is 4 times weak to rock, and a lot of fighting types do carry rock moves, but again, with that defense, we can still take those hits. And we do want to make sure we pair Ho with good hazard removal, and we pair it with good options to get rid of rock types and to take rock type hits. And I think Panther did a really amazing job of doing that. Anyways, that's our first pick. I'm excited to use it. I think it's going to be an amazing bulky mon, but at the same time, really good offensively as well. I can't wait. Our next mon is going to be Tapu Koko. I've used Koko before in the past. I really enjoyed it. It's super fast, 130 base speed. I believe it's got 150 in attack and 95 special attack. It's got decent coverage, but you're mostly going to be clicking its stab options, being T-Bolt or Volt Switch, and then or even Discharge rather, and then Dazzling Gleam, and you'll also be using U-Turn a lot as well. Potentially Defog, Taunt. You know, just it's a really good pivot, but it's a really good support mon as well. And depending on what the ground types or the electric resists or immunities on my opponent's teams could be, Koko could just run through, especially because it's so fast. And with electric terrain, boosted Thunderbolts, it's going to be hitting so hard. You never know, a Choice Specs Koko could be coming in clutch. Our next mon is going to be an Aegislash. Yes, Aegislash is our second Uber. It's our last Uber, quote unquote, so an Uber is qualified as having 21 points or more. So you can only have a maximum of 2 mons between the 29 to 21 point tier. After that, it was just, you can only have 1 mon. I think there was like some mons that were over that, but I don't remember too much. Anyways, Aegislash has really good typing. Steel and Ghost is phenomenal, both offensively and defensively as well. It's immune to fighting, normal, and poison as well. It's got great stats based on what form it's in. If it's in shield form, it's got 150 on both its defenses. If it's in blade form, it's got 150 in both of its attacks. Its speed, I believe, is only base 60, which isn't great, but it gets access to Autotomize, I believe. I think it's Autotomize. It could be Rock Polish, but I'm pretty sure it's Autotomize. And with the ability to have King Shields as well, you can really force your opponent to a tough spot, into really a tough 50-50 predictions, which if you want to win those predictions, you gotta be on points, and hopefully we can be on points with with Aegislash in this season. Obviously, its coverage isn't great. You get basically your stab options on both physical and special side, priority and shadow sneak. You got Gyro Ball, Iron Head, Flash Cannon, Shadow Ball, Shadow Sneak, Shadow Claw, and then you have like Sacred Sword, I think it is. The like Head Smash, and there's really not much else, so it's gonna be a very interesting mod to use. Again, typing is phenomenal. It was, I believe, banned from OU in Gen 6 when it came out because it just created so many 50-50s, and that's what we're gonna be using it for, creating 50-50s, forcing our opponents to tough spots to allow the rest of our team to just go in. Our next mod is going to be our Mega here, and this is the completion of our Fairy Dragon Steel Core, and I can't believe this thing was only 20 points, and that is Mega Latios. Mega Latios is insane. It's really, really strong. Unfortunately, it can't be regular Latios. I like regular Latios a bit more, even though Mega Latios hits pretty hard. I believe Latios with a Life Orb hits harder than Mega Latios, which kind of sucks. But Mega Latios is much bulkier. Unfortunately, it doesn't gain any speed, but it's still so bulky, so fast, so strong. Completes our Fairy Dragon Steel Core. It is another immunity to ground with Levitate, like our Ho-Oh is, to help out with Coco and Aegislash being weak to the ground types, obviously. And it's got ridiculous coverage. It gets Dragon Dance and Calm Mind for setup. Its dual stabs are amazing. We're going to be dropping Dracos with this thing, believe me. And I really like the nickname that was given to it. I don't know when it's going to be coming. I already had my week 1 build done, and it's not on that game. So, I mean, maybe week 2 you guys will see it. Who knows? I haven't really seen the matchup yet, but who knows? Anyways, Latios is a great pairing with Aegislash and Coco. Obviously, the Aegislash and Coco both are weak to Dark and to sorry, not Aegislash and Coco. Aegislash and Latios are both weak to Dark and Ghost. But I think we do a good enough job towards the end of our draft to really patch up those weaknesses. And we did spend, of our 155 point budget, we spent like almost 90 points on just 4 mons. So we have 60 points left, and it's going to be very interesting to see how we can build a team around them. So our next mon is going to be another Z user. We actually, I forgot to mention, Coco was our first Z user. The way Z users work is you have to take one Z user that is 20 points or less, one that's 15 points or less, and one that's 10 points or less. So our first one was Coco, and our next one is this mon here, being a Dugtrio. Dugtrio gets Arena Trap, and we are going to be using it a lot this league. I think it's going to be really effective to help me trap those annoying mons, those electric types, those steel types, those rock types, just mons that are really problematic for a lot of my other mons, and that's why Dugtrio can be so useful. You can give it a sash to make sure that it can always live 2 hits, or take at least 1 hit. It can. Sorry, let me try this again. It'll outspeed, fire off a hit, take a hit, and then fire off another hit and get the KO if need be. It gets priority in Sucker Punch. It's our first rocker, I believe, as well. It's an electric immunity in terrain, which is very nice to have, and it's just going to be a really useful mod to help support the rest of our team. It's not really going to do much sweeping, but it is a pretty strong mod, and a Choice Scarf Dugtrio is an amazing revenge killer if need be. Just gotta be careful for potential set sweepers that are immune to ground moves. Next up, though, our 6th pick is going to be a mod that I've never used before, just like Dugtrio, I've never used it before. And I'm not too sure how I feel about it, but this pick right here, looking at it, I was not too impressed with it, but based on how it fits with the rest of the team, I really like it. So that mod is going to be Amoonguss. Now Amoonguss gets Regenerator, so it's a Regenerator core with Ho-Oh, which is very nice. Both of them, I believe, are not weak to the same types. They don't really resist much of the same types they're weak to. Like, both of them are 4 times resisting grass. Amoonguss is weak to fire. Ho-Oh resists fire. Ho-Oh is weak to electric. I believe electric is grass resists electric. So I could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure though. So that I guess helps out a bit. But it's a really good mod with Spore. It gets access to Haze, Foul Play, not Haze, Clear Smog, Foul Play, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain. It's got a lot of really unique moves that can be really helpful and really force my opponent to potentially run a safety goggles when they want to run something else like a recovery for recovery and leftovers, or a berry, or maybe a band, or whatever, and it can really force my opponent to some tough rep, which that's what I'm going to be kind of using Amoonguss for, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of hesitant about it, but I am looking forward to it. Our next mon is going to be another rocker here, our 2nd rocker, and it is going to be Miltank. Miltank is a very solid mon. I never really had much success with it. I always draft it. I always used to draft it, at least because it's a very cheap mon. It does things really well, but it always ends up being just like something to take a hit and then get up rocks, or take a hit, paralyze something, maybe get off one heal bell if needed. But Miltank has really solid stats. It's got 100 base the speed. I believe it's got 105 on its HP stat and pretty good defenses, except for special. I'm pretty sure special defense is base 70. Its attack stat is not great, but it gets boosting moves like Curse. It gets Seismitoad for consistent damage. But other than that, it's mostly going to be using its support moves. Stealth Rock, Toxic, Thunder Wave, Milk Drink, Heal Bell, stuff like that to make sure the team stays healthy. And it's going to be really useful with Ho. If Ho gets Toxic, we have a really good Heal Beller here in the back for it to make sure it just stays alive, because I don't want to have to click Rest with my Ho. I want to be able to just click Roost or just switch out with my regenerative ability. Miltank's going to be very solid, and I'm really looking forward to giving it a shot. It is weak to only fighting, and it is immune to the ghost types that are pretty much running through our team right now. We had no resist prior to this, and Miltank gives us a great immunity. Again, fighting types do hit this thing pretty hard, but right now we have 5 resist to fighting, or 4 resist plus immunity. We have, Ho resist, Coco resist, Aegislash immune, Latios resist, Amogus resist. We're in a great spot. When it comes to fighting types, I think Miltank could have a field day against my opponent's teams, and I'm really looking forward to giving it a try. Our next mod is going to be our final Z user, and that is going to be Seismitoad. Seismitoad is kind of what brings this team together, I feel like, in a really weird way, because it is another really good ground type with obviously helping out Coco, because I don't want to become really weak to electric types because of my lack of ground types. I have 2 really solid ones in Dugtrio and Seismitoad. This mod is only weak to 1 type, and that is the grass type. And you look at it, I have Ho, which 4 times resists. I have Amogus, which 4 times resists. I have Miltank, which has the ability to have Sap Sipper. I also have Aegislash and Latios, which resist as well. So grass types really aren't going to do too much to my team. And I have really good ways to switch in. As long as I keep rocks off my side of the field, then Ho could be an amazing check to all grass types. And we have pretty solid defoggers in Coco and Latios so far, so I'm hoping we can do that. But Seismitoad gives me rocks. It gives me pretty decent coverage. Poison, ice, water, ground, rock, I believe as well. It's not bad. It's mainly just going to be a support mon, a really good bulky mon to stop some sweeps, to be annoying. It's a water immunity as well, which would be very useful. So I'm hoping that we can really use Seismitoad well, and pairing it with a 4 times weakness like Ho has. Obviously, Ho is 4 times weak to rock. Seismitoad resists rock. Ho is 4 times resists grass, and Seismitoad is weak to grass. So it's a very good pairing there, and they just pair seamlessly. It's a very good fit, and I'm happy to see them do work together. It's going to be very fun too, Seismitoad. It's a mod that I want to try for a long time. In my opinion, it's one of the better water ground types. They're all really good. I think honestly, after using the majority of them, I would say that Gastrodon has fallen for me as my least favorites, even though Gastrodon, I love Gastrodon. It's just my least favorite because they're all so good. Our next mon is going to be our pick number 9, and this again is where I'm surprised this thing didn't go earlier, because there's 4 Tapus and there's only 1 of these, and that is Hawlucha. We got Hawlucha for 15 points. This is a really good pairing with a type of Coco. Obviously very standard, but I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Coco and Lucha are very, very powerful. We had the best record in a league the last time we had them. Not the last time, this first time we had them, and the second time we had them, we had the best record in our division, and we ended up losing in round 1. But Coco Lucha is very powerful. It's a fighting type, which is going to help us deal with those normal types, which right now we don't have anything that hits super effectively. It's a really good sweeper. It's a really good revenge killer as well. And just the pairing with Coco and Lucha is really powerful. It gets a U-turn as well for momentum if I need it. I don't really need to run a electric seed set every single week. I've run a choice band set in the past before with Limber. I feel like a mold breaker set could be very useful to potentially defog on something that has magic bounce, maybe, let's say. Yeah, you know, I don't know if that would affect the mechanic of defog. Who knows? Anyways, not a big deal. Hawlucha is here. It's gonna be tons of fun to use. I have a lot of confidence with this mon, and I think just all the offense that we have on our team, paired with the really good bulk as well, is gonna make it so that Hawlucha is gonna be such a huge threat that people aren't gonna be able to prep for as much as they'd like. So moving on though, our next pick is going to be our second to last pick. We have 2 more, and we have, I believe it is, I think it's 15 points left. No, I think it's 14 points. We have 14 points left at this point, and at this point we still don't have a dark type, and dark types are pretty important so we don't just auto lose to psychic types. And we picked another 4 times weakness, and that is going to be Bischoff. Bischoff I don't like. I'm gonna be very honest. I don't like it, not because it's a bad mon, because I'm really bad with Sucker Punch. And we do have Dugtrio as well with Sucker Punch, but like Bischoff, just I don't know what it is about it. I just can never get the predictions right. Never. People always say, oh, you gotta wait 3 times, use Sucker Punch 3 times, and then go for like a sub or whatever 3 times on the Sucker Punch, then go for an attack. No, it never ends up working well for me, never. So I'm hoping that we can turn that around with the Bischoff here. I was looking to drop this for a different fighting type, for a different dark type of me, but there really wasn't anything left. I was trying to trade for Aaron, to Aaron for one of his fighting types. I think it was Weavile, that I could have made a trade for, but I don't think it was worth it in the end. So yeah, that's it. We have Bischoff now, and I mean, it's another rocker. It gets priority. Knockoff is nice, especially stab knockoff. It's another 4 times weakness to fighting this time though. And you look at it, fighting is resisted by Amoonguss. It's also resisted by Ho, which is incredible. It resists rock, and it also resists grass for Seismitoad and for Ho. So that's just really, again, it's a good fit. It's a good fit. I'm excited to give it a shot, but trust me, I'm going to be really bad with Sucker Punch, and I don't want to be. It just might just be how it is. Our last mon was Dugong for the memes, but I decided to drop it for a mon that I think could have a bit more use and could have some utility for the team, because looking at it, our defog answers are Coco, Latios, and Hawlucha. Not always what you want to run defog, so I decided to grab a prankster defogger, being Illumise. I would have drafted Volbeat if I had 1 more point. If I had 1 more point, I would have taken Volbeat 100%, but we only had 2 points left. Illumise was 2, Volbeat was 3, so we're stuck with this thing. It doesn't get Tail Glow, which sucks because you can baton pass in this league. So, damn it, imagine baton passing a +3 into an Aegislash or a Mega Latios or a Ho-Oh or even a Coco. It would have been insane, but unfortunately we can't because we only have 2 points left. Not the end of the world though. This thing does get Prankster, Recovery, and Roost, and I believe Moonlight as well. It gets Thunder Wave, it gets U-Turn, it gets Bug Buzz, and with base 75 attack, which is not awful. It's bad, but it's not horrible. It gets Defog, like I said. It does get Baton Pass as well. I don't think it gets any really good forms of setup. It gets Tailwind for speed control, which is nice as well. I think it's just going to be a really decent support mon, and I enjoyed using Volbeat in the BBL, and I mean, I have Illumise now on this team, and these little bugs are not good mons, but they kind of put in a lot of work in leagues that are point-based. So yeah, I'm really excited to use this team out. Thanks to Panther for drafting it. Thanks to Panther and Aaron for suggesting that I join the league. I'm really excited to give it a shot. Our week 1 battle will be up next week. We're playing against It's and his, I believe it's the Sacramento Nidokings. I'm going to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I have to go to the Ocean server to make sure. Yeah, Sacramento Nidokings. And oh boy, they have a scary team. I believe they actually have a really, really good matchup against us, just in terms of like a few mons. They have Scolopy, which is really terrifying for my team. Cofagrigus is a really good answer to Hawlucha as well. Mewtwo. Yeah, they have a Mewtwo. So they have Mega Sceptile, which outspeeds my Coco and is immune to the Thunder, to electric moves, which is very scary. So very, very threatening team, and hopefully we can get a win in this game, because I'm not looking forward to playing these teams. Like, there's so many crazy teams that I'm just not looking forward to playing a lot of them. But yeah, that's our team. Let me know who you think is going to be the MVP of this team, which mon you're most excited to see us use. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like on the video. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Get ready for that hype before Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon go down and Sword and Shield come up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.